Welcome to entertain me. I'm gonna go off course now for music and comedy. I've been watching a lot of American reactors reacting to British stuff, and I think I know what the American health care is. I think it's about Americans paying insurance for their medical care. So you hear stories of Americans being bankrupt if they get ill, and you hear all sorts of things that before they take care of you, they check that you can afford the medical care, which I think is just the story. They probably do save your life and take care of you and make sure you're okay, and then they probably come after you for the money. But I'm going to find out about the US healthcare system. It's going to be explained to me, and I will give my view either during this or after this from a Brit. But as the NHS, which means it's not free, of course it's not. We will pay our taxes, but we expect the tax we pay for our health to go to the NHS and not fiddle off somewhere on some other project. If I am paying for my taxes for my health, I want them to go to the nurses, the doctors, my medical care. And all Brits feel the same. The National Health Service is a great service that gives medical care a point free at the point of use. Nobody pays, because you already pay your taxes for this care. It's socialism at its finest. And socialism to the Americans is not a dirty word. It's not a lefty word. It's caring for all the people equally. We all pay tax and we all get free care. But for some reason the Americans think, I say, oh, well, I expect them to think, they go with the private word as it shouldn't be free. A point of use, you should be able to afford to pay for it, for insurance. Let's have a look-see.
If you look at lists regarding which countries have the best healthcare system, you'll likely see Sweden, Denmark, Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, the Netherlands, and Singapore somewhere on the lists. But how do they compile such lists? Well, taken into account is how much countries spend on healthcare, the quality of that healthcare, the availability of it, and of course, how effective it is in keeping the country's populace healthy. Another thing on the list is how much people might have to pay up front for the healthcare, if anything at all. This is one of the reasons you won't find the USA on.
They say people will pay up front. Let me assure you, to any people who visit the UK or America, if you come over to this country, and you go, oh, heart attack, life-threatening stuff, you will not have to pay up front. You will get medical care straight away. You're not paying up front for anything, you will get it free. And I don't know how it works for Americans. If you have insurance, you're probably insurance to get, but if you are not a well-off American, I will assure you, you will not get bankrupt by this country's National Health Service. I don't know how they do it. Perhaps I should look into it. But you will not be bankrupt. You will get it free, I would expect, for your holiday insurance.
On these lists, with the American media often telling us being sick in the US can bankrupt a family, today we'll find out how this happens in this episode of the Infographic Show, US Healthcare System Explained. Before we begin to explain the system, we might ask if medical bills do actually cause so many problems in the USA. According to CNBC, that is indeed a fact, with one report saying medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the country. How many bankruptcies, no one knows exactly. You'll find some statistics saying that around 650,000 Americans every year go bankrupt because of medical bills. President Obama said there was a medical bill-related bankruptcy in the US every 30 seconds, but that was way back in 2009. These numbers have been contested, and skeptics tell us there is always more to bankruptcy in these cases than just medical bills. Maybe those bills.
I would tell all American friends that is disgusting. If you're getting bankrupt for your healthcare, that is something that doesn't happen in this country. Nobody gets bankrupt from being ill. I am ill myself. I get free medication. I've worked all my life. I paid my taxes. I don't feel guilty that I get free medication because of my condition. I'm a medically exempt person, so I don't have to pay for my medication. If I was a working person and I had a flu or something like that and they give me a prescription, they have a basic price for prescriptions. In England you'll pay £7.50 to £8.50 for your medicine. Scotland and Wales it's free, because Scotland and Wales have a devolved government, and they both countries, and about Northern Ireland, both countries have decided that people do not have to pay for the medication. It's free. In Scotland, university is free. In Wales, I think it's 3,000 you have to pay. England, it's 9,000. I don't know about Northern Ireland, but you would never get bankrupt as because you work and you pay your taxes and national insurance. Your medical needs are sorted. But if you want to go private, you can get private healthcare in this country. There's Bupa. You pay extra to go private. If you want to see a specialist quicker, or you want to have an operation quicker, you go private if you can afford it. But most people use the NHS, and if you get a woman pregnant, it's free. You don't get charged for having a baby in this country, so you will never get bankrupt for having a baby.
Bills were just the straw that broke the camel's back. But one thing we can take from the stats, even if not entirely accurate, is that America, a country so developed and rich, might not be doing a good enough job looking after its citizens. The website The Balance wrote a very balanced article on this topic. It came to the conclusion that one must save in America, as sickness or accidents can lead to astronomical bills. The advice it gives? Save for a rainy day in a hospital bed, and live a life in line with not getting an ailment often unavoidable, such as diabetes. Shouldn't a developed nation have safety nets in place, though? That's a question many Americans ask. How many Danes go bankrupt because they were unfortunate enough to be hit by a bus? We might recall the recent video that went viral of a woman who had her leg trapped by a subway train in Boston. "Don't call an ambulance," she cried as shocked bystanders witnessed her bone coming through her leg. "Why?" they asked. She replied, "Do you know how much an ambulance costs?" So what's going on? The Department for Professional Employees. The American healthcare system is
That is terrible that you don't pay for an ambulance ride in this country. Oh, that's terrible that you were scared. You would rather see your leg get ripped off by a train done. That is unbelievable. That's something I don't have to worry about. Paying for money for an ambulance. America, it's supposed to be civilized. Don't understand it. Something's wrong in America.
Is unique, at least for an advanced nation. That's mainly because the USA is the only industrialized nation without universal healthcare coverage. That doesn't mean it doesn't spend a lot on healthcare. In fact, it spends a lot, a hell of a lot. About 17.9% of the GDP in 2016, or 3.3.
I expect your healthcare system is very, very smart. The money that they must rake in, you must have first class care. But then, after your care is finished, you have to pay for your first class care. Many people moaned about the NHS, waiting times, and queues, but at least you'll still be able to live after it, unlike some poor Americans who go bankrupt. And that's terrible.
$3 trillion. We're told that Americans shop for health insurance just as they shop for anything else. Around 156 million Americans are insured through their work, which is called employer-provided private insurance. Then you have publicly funded Medicare for old folks and the disabled, and Medicaid for the poor. It's thought around 120 million Americans are part of these schemes. That's why the system has been called a public-private hybrid. But when we talk about insurance given or subsidized by employers, it all depends on what kind of insurance you have. It may not pay for everything, so some people still end up going bankrupt. Then you have the Affordable Health Care Act, or ACA, aka Obamacare, which attempted to make it easier for employers to give better health insurance plans for their workers. It also made it possible to give the maximum time limit for short-term insurance plans, and make it possible for employers to give their workers pre-tax cash to buy their own coverage. As we said though, insurance providers don't always give you exactly what you want. They usually have a network of doctors or hospitals and you must use them. And in some cases, you are not always covered for the treatment you need. In the past, some people with pre-existing conditions couldn't afford their insurance or were even denied it, which is just a part of cutthroat capitalism. Obamacare was put in place to prevent this. But let's go back to insurance. When you choose a plan, you must look at these things: deductibles, co-payments, co-insurance, and premiums. The package you buy, according to these things, might save or break you. Premiums are what you pay even if you don't make a claim. These can be very high. Co-insurance is a percentage of the cost you pay. A deductible is what you pay before insurance pays for anything, which can be as much as $10,000. A co-payment is what you must pay for every visit to the hospital or clinic, and you'll pay that before the insurance company pays anything. So choosing the right plan is important. As one writer puts it, you've got to be an odds maker on your own health. So what if you have no insurance? As we said, there are government funded.
There are people in this country now, and they would love this sort of thing to happen in this country, I'm sure of it. Because you hear them saying people who smoke should pay for their health. People who smoke have been paying taxes on their cigarettes since they started smoking. They are paid in VAT and tax for their health if the lungs go or they get cancer. They've already paid into in tax and VAT. But why can't America see past socialism as being something to fear? Nothing to fear. The NHS was built by a socialist government. It is renowned for its free at the point of service. It's free. You pay £2 or £3 a week, maybe a bit more, but your wages for national insurance, some bit tax, 25,000, 20% of that a year is 5,000. Those taxes, I don't just pay for your national health. You've got paid for your policeman, your copper, all public service. Why can't America just pay tax? And Americans agree that tax must go to their medical care and their police force or whatever, and then they don't have to worry about these rich insurance companies ripping them off, because that's all they do, they're ripping them off. God help us if we ever done that line. And with the Tory government in, they try to privatise most things, because the capitalism is about capitalism. You can have capitalism, we all have capitalism, but not ripping off your own people. No, this is wrong.
Funded schemes for those in need. Also, because of the emergency medical treatment and
I'm sorry, it's kind of stopped there. Says I did 1 minute. I don't know why this is. Let's try again. Carry on.
active labor act of
Now it's closed again. Harvard.
1986. Hospitals can't just turn you away if you're at the doctor with blood spurting from your neck. There's also the Hippocratic Oath, which means all doctors must try to treat you the best they can and do it ethically. But if you can't pay, there will be a bill, and in the US, it will likely be a large bill. That could lead to debt collectors coming for you, your wages being garnished, part of the money taken out, your credit being ruined, having a tax refund withheld, someone wanting to take your house, or you could suffer bankruptcy. But surely those with decent insurance won't hit rock bottom. Not according to the Kaiser Family Foundation. That tells us more than 25% of US adults with insurance have difficulty paying their medical bills. You see, we're told that 63% of Americans who have had these medical bill woes had to spend most or all of their savings on those bills. Another 42% had to get a second job. CNBC wrote in 2018, only 39% of Americans have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency. Experts tell us Americans should downgrade their lifestyle in case they get sick, even if they have insurance, as going bankrupt could mean you might not get a loan again, or be able to rent a house, or even get a job. Sure, the poor and needy might get government help, but those that fall somewhere in the not poor but far from being comfortable category are often those who have to risk average insurance and the possibility of getting sick ruining your life. Another thing we're told is that 1 in 10 Americans delay getting treated because they're worried about the cost. That's what you might call a vicious cycle, because waiting can just make things worse. Some folks can't even afford the deductible, even when it's just $500. The bills themselves may often surprise those that got treated. According to a story in The Atlantic in 2014, one man had a herniated disc surgery in America. He made sure he had enough cash for the surgery. As the article said, $56,000 in hospital charge, the $4,300 anesthesiologist bill, and the $133,000 fee for the orthopedist. But there was an extra $117,000 for an assistant surgeon that had turned up. One would think at these prices you could walk out of the hospital not only fixed, but in a Hugo Boss suit, with the keys to a new car and 2 tickets to the next World Cup final. But no, you get fixed and leave with only a big bill. This is mainly because of administrative costs, the sometimes ridiculous cost of drugs, the fact that you pay for the possibility of doctors being sued, paying healthcare workers wages, new technologies, and medical institutions just charging you what they want. We're told
Paying healthcare wages. Why? All nurses get paid by our taxes already.
Told by Reader's Digest that some hospitals charge $8 for a mucus recovery system. They're usually called tissues. An investigation revealed one patient was charged $53 per pair of non-sterile rubber gloves. Sterile gloves were more. Total cost for the stay just in gloves was $5,141. That plastic cup they use to hand you your drugs, $10. With an average of $440 in cups for a patient's stay in the hospital. Alcohol swabs, of which you may need many, $23 a time. One person was charged $137 for an IV bag. The cost of that bag, $1. This is mostly due to something called the Charge Master, which allows hospitals to charge out-of-this-world prices. These codex of costs are hospital-specific, meaning each hospital makes up its own prices. Some critics have called such costs fiction and are critical.
We do have private hospitals in this country. Paid by the people who go private. We have natural health service hospitals in this country. We don't pay for every little thing we use, be it alcohol wipe. We don't pay for that, it's free. Hopefully, if you have to put gloves, put away aprons on where we being examined, it's all free. You pay for it for your taxes. Please, America, and I suppose mostly the Republic Party, socialism is not evil. Why don't you get in touch with the Americans who live in the UK and ask what they think of the NHS? Free appointed delivery. Just inquire. And ask, do they get banquet if they have to go to the hospital? No. For free. To live and pay taxes in this country, it's free.
Of the lack of transparency hospitals provide about this hidden menu. The loser, of course, is the
Well, it's not free because you pay taxes, but you don't get banquet, you don't. No, pay out of your pocket. It's where you go.
consumer whose life may depend on that 5-star menu. Vox reports that one woman who hit her head and went to the ER left with only an ice pack and a bandage. Her bill? $5,751. Her insurance paid $862, and she had to pay $4,000.
So what's the point of insurance then? If you're paying $4,989, the insurance is only paying £800. Why bother with insurance? Just pay them the $5,000 and save yourself money over years. Just a bump on the head.
$989. Okay, she paid for assistance and expert evaluation, but come on. In fact, most drugs or treatments will cost Americans much more than citizens of other countries. In fact, the Washington Post tells us America has the most expensive but least effective healthcare in the developed world. Now you might see why people in the US are going bankrupt and why the country is not on any best healthcare lists. This is a huge debate in America, and today we may have been quite critical of the healthcare system. We'd love to hear counter-arguments, or even your own experiences with the healthcare system. Let us know in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other video, Most Horrific Crimes, the Italian Mafia. Thanks for watching, and as always, please don't forget to like.
Right, I would like to hear from UK citizens living in America. Do they come back to this country to have their health care if they have health operation or medical care? Or do they pay insurance in America? If anybody in America who lives in America from UK, what do you do? Let me know. To my American friends, socialism is not a dirty word. It's a word that means we take care of each other, and that's what the rich man should do to the poor man. Take care of each other. We have health care free at the point of use. we don't ever receive a bill. Dental work, totally different. You do pay for dental work if you're working, if you're unemployed, or I think you're under 18, I think dental work is free. If you're a pensioner, I think it's free. But if you're working, you do pay for yourself, especially on things like whitening and things like that, which is not necessary. I know most people think it's necessary to have your teeth whitened, then you pay for it, you know. And you also pay for extractions if you're working, but dental is different. But you know, even some NHS stuff, plastic surgery, breast enlargements, you could used to get it free if it was a medical psychological thing. You could used to get it free. I don't think I know. I don't think they do like sections and fillers and all that free anymore like used to. If you want a baby, you can't. That would be free. They will give you free for that, is all I believe. But socialism is not a dirty word. Don't let the right wing tell you it is a dirty word. It's not Marxism, it's not communism. Socialism is totally different. They should take care of each other. And we pay tax. That tax goes to healthcare, police, firefighters, all sorts of things. And I wouldn't survive in America. I couldn't, because I'm not a rich man, I'm a poor man, and that tells me I will never move to America, because I just couldn't afford to. Well, that's it then. I don't know, this has been on for 27 minutes. Oh, I better go. I may have to do this in 2 parts. Please like the video, comments. I hope to get some comments on this, even from Brits who disagree with me. That'll be helpful. I'd like to have a good argument. Okay. Good luck. Be safe. Take care. Please, just subscribe.